You've been in relationships before, or maybe you're in one right now, and you can't shake the question, is this actually real? Is this the love God has for me, or is this just feelings, convenience, or something I've slowly talked myself into? You want to know the difference between what's real and what's just familiar, between what's from God and what's from loneliness, between what's built to last and what's built to make you feel better right now. The answer isn't always found in a feeling, but God does show you through signs that are consistent, grounded in His Word, and unmistakably different from the counterfeits that feelings alone can produce. Here's how He does it. The first sign is a peace that transcends the situation. Not the peace that comes because everything is going perfectly. Not the peace that exists only when there are no arguments, no uncertainty, no hard conversations. But a deep, settled, God-given peace that remains even when things are imperfect. A peace that tells you something true is happening here, even when the circumstances around it are still complicated. Philippians 4 verse 7 describes it as the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. That phrase is the key. It surpasses understanding. It exists beyond what your mind can fully explain or justify. Real love from God doesn't always make perfect logical sense in a moment. Maybe you're at different life stages, or there are practical challenges neither of you have solved yet. But despite those things, there's a peace inside you about this person that doesn't waver. You're not tormented by the relationship. You're not constantly second-guessing it. You're not performing. You're not anxious. You're not walking on eggshells. There's a steadiness in you about this person that you cannot fully explain, and that is God's fingerprint. Think about how Ruth moved when she chose to follow Naomi back to Bethlehem in Ruth 1. From every practical standpoint, that decision made no sense. She was leaving her homeland, her family, her culture, any future prospects she had in Moab, to follow a widowed mother-in-law into a foreign country with no guarantee of anything waiting for her there. But Ruth moved with a settled, purposeful resolve that never appears in the text as panic or second-guessing. She didn't make it a few miles down the road and turn back. There was a deep certainty in her that said, "This is right," even when nothing around it was easy. The kind of peace in the middle of difficult circumstances, that a God sign. Contrast that with what counterfeit love actually feels like from the inside. It is exciting but unsettled. It is passionate but anxious. It pulls you in and then creates confusion. You feel high when they're close and completely destabilized when they're distant. There is emotional turbulence that you keep telling yourself is passion, but it's not passion. It's instability. And no amount of strong feeling changes the fact that chaos is not a foundation you can build a life on. Here's what's telling. If you have to constantly talk yourself into being okay in this relationship, if the peace only shows up when everything is going your way, if uncertainty is your default state every time you think about this person, pay attention to that. God's peace in real love is present even when things aren't perfect. When it's there, it's a sign. And when it's consistently absent, that's a sign too. The second sign is that it draws you closer to God, not further from Him. One of the clearest ways God shows you that love is real is through its direction, where it pulls you. Real love ordained by God doesn't compete with your relationship with Him. It doesn't make you more distracted in prayer, less interested in His Word, or more willing to compromise on the convictions He's built in you over years of walking with Him. Instead, it deepens your hunger for God. It creates a context where both of you are moving toward Him together, not drifting from Him because of each other. When it's real, you find that being with this person makes you want to be a better version of who God created you to be. Their character challenges you in the right way. Their faith raises the standard in you, not lowers it. You don't shrink spiritually in this relationship. You grow. You can pray together without it feeling forced. You can bring your real spiritual life into the relationship without feeling like you have to keep it separate from your feelings for them. Think about Boaz in the book of Ruth. When he first noticed Ruth, his response wasn't driven purely by attraction. He noticed her faith before he noticed anything else. He had heard about her loyalty to Naomi, her character and how she worked and carried herself, the reputation she had built without even trying to build it. In Ruth 3 verse 11, Boaz tells her, "All the city of my people doth know that thou art a virtuous woman." He was responding to her godliness. And when they came together, their entire relationship was framed within obedience to God's law, within covenant, within honor. Their love for each other didn't pull them away from God. It was expressed through faithfulness to Him. That's what real love looks like when God authors it. It doesn't slowly erode the convictions you spent years building. It doesn't make exceptions to standards you know God placed in you. It reinforces them. It creates a relationship where both people are sharper spiritually because of each other, not duller. Here's what's revealing. Pay attention to which version of you shows up when you're with this person. Are you more prayerful, more spiritually grounded, more hungry for God? Or are you more distracted, more willing to cut corners, more distant from the things of God than you were before? If this relationship is pulling you in the wrong spiritual direction, no amount of good feeling changes what direction you're actually moving. The direction that love pulls you toward God or away from Him is one of the most reliable indicators of whether what you have is real. The third sign is that it is consistent, not just intense. One of the greatest counterfeits of real love is intensity. Intensity feels like love because it mimics some of its surface qualities: strong emotion, deep desire, consuming focus on the other person, a feeling that you've never felt this way before. But intensity without consistency is not love. It is infatuation at best and something manipulative and unstable at worst. And if you build your life on it, it will wreck you. Real love, when God is in it, shows up consistently, is present in the ordinary moments, not just the extraordinary ones. It is expressed in how this person treats you on a regular Tuesday when nothing special is happening. It is visible in how they speak about you when you're not in the room. It is demonstrated in the small, daily decisions they make that show they are thinking of you, honoring you, choosing you, not just when it's romantic and exciting, but in the mundane moments where character is actually revealed. 1 Corinthians 13 verses 4-8 doesn't describe love as a feeling. It describes love as a series of consistent behaviors. Love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. None of those are emotions. They are actions. They are patterns. They are things that can only be verified over time, across different seasons of life, not declared in a single moment of intense feeling. When God shows you that love is real, He shows you through those patterns being consistently present. Not perfectly present. Nobody is perfect, but consistently present. Present enough that it's a pattern, not an exception. Think about Jacob working 14 years for Rachel in Genesis 29. Whatever you say about the complexity in that story, one thing is undeniable. Jacob's love was consistent. It didn't expire when the first 7 years ended in betrayal and deception. It endured. It returned. It was tested at every level and held. 14 years of consistent pursuit is not infatuation. That's a pattern that revealed something real, even in an imperfect and complicated story. The danger of intensity is that it is convincing in the short term, but unsustainable over time. The highs are extraordinary, which makes you believe you found something rare, so you overlook the warning signs during the lows, and the cycle keeps repeating. You stay because the good moments are so good, but what you're measuring is volatility, not love. You're confusing the extremes of the cycle for depth of feeling. Here's what's essential. Don't let intensity blind you to inconsistency. If the highs are euphoric, but the lows are devastating, if this person is everything when things are good and absent or hurtful when things are hard, that is intensity. That is not consistency. And only consistency demonstrated over time and across multiple seasons, is the kind of foundation God uses to show you that love is real. The fourth sign is that it produces growth, not just comfort. Comfort is good. Security in a relationship is genuinely valuable. Feeling safe, feeling like you can be yourself without performing, those are real gifts. But real love, love that God ordains and sustains, does more than make you comfortable. It makes you better. It challenges you. It calls out things in you that need to grow. It creates the kind of safety that makes growth possible, but it doesn't let you settle into spiritual or personal mediocrity just because settling is comfortable. When it's real, this person sees you clearly, your strengths and your blind spots. And they love you as you are while genuinely believing in and calling toward who you're becoming. They don't flatter you into complacency by only telling you what you want to hear. They don't accept your worst habits just to keep the peace. They speak truth into your life with grace, with love, without condemnation, because they care more about your actual growth than they care about avoiding a hard conversation. And you do the same for them. You are both better because of each other. Proverbs 27 verse 17 says, "As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another." That is not a soft image. Iron sharpening iron creates friction. It creates heat. It is not always a comfortable process, but the result is that both edges become sharper and more effective. Real love does that. It doesn't leave you the same person you were when you entered the relationship. It refines you, and you recognize over time, looking back across months or years, that who you are now is more aligned with who God created you to be, not less. Some relationships are comfortable because they don't challenge you, and that comfort is actually stagnation dressed up as peace. You're not growing. Nothing in you is being called higher. The relationship simply exists as a place where you both feel okay. And some relationships don't just stall your growth. They actively work against it. They require you to shrink, to hide the parts of yourself that God placed in you, to suppress your gifts and quiet your convictions because this person is threatened by them or doesn't understand them. If you are less of who God made you to be in this relationship than you were before it, that is not love. That is subtraction disguised as connection. Here's what's fundamental. Ask yourself honestly, who am I becoming in this relationship? Am I more courageous, more prayerful, more grounded in who God says I am? Or am I more fearful, more insecure, more spiritually stagnant than when this started? The answer to that question is one of the clearest ways God shows you whether what you have is real love or a comfortable substitute for it. The fifth sign is that godly people around you recognize it. God rarely confirms real love in isolation. He doesn't expect you to figure this out alone, locked in your own emotions, trying to sort through your feelings without any outside perspective. He uses the body of Christ, mature believers who know you, love you genuinely, and can see clearly what you cannot see when your emotions are fully invested in the outcome, to affirm what He is doing. When it is real love that God has authored, the spiritually grounded people in your life will sense it. They will see a piece in you that wasn't there before. They will recognize something right about this person that holds up over time under honest observation. Proverbs 15 verse 22 says plans fail without counsel, but succeed with many advisors. This applies directly to the most significant relational decision of your life. When God is showing you that love is real, He will back it up through the voices of wise people around you. Your pastor will see something healthy in how you talk about this person. Your mentor will sense peace rather than concern when you bring the relationship to them. Your closest friends, the ones who will tell you the truth even when it costs them something, will affirm what they observe in you and in this relationship over time. In Genesis 24, when Abraham's servant was sent to find a wife for Isaac, he didn't operate in isolation. He prayed for a sign. When Rebekah appeared and fulfilled that sign, he still didn't act immediately on his own sense of leading. He brought the situation to her family. And when Laban and Bethuel said, "This is from the Lord," That external confirmation became part of how God confirmed that this was right. The servant had his own leading. Rebecca had demonstrated the sign. The family confirmed it. Multiple witnesses from different vantage points, all pointing to the same conclusion. That is how God operates. But not every voice of concern is God speaking through someone. Unsaved friends may not understand a relationship built on God's leading. Jealous peers may criticize what they wish they had. Controlling family members may object for reasons that are more about their own preferences than about God's will for your life. Not every disagreement with your relationship is a word from God. Discernment is required. Here's what's indispensable. The voices that matter are the voices of people who are spiritually mature, who have demonstrated they want God's will for your life more than their own preferences to be right, who have no personal stake in the outcome, and who know you well enough to see clearly. When those specific people look at this relationship with consistent peace and say, "I see God in this," that is one of the most significant confirmations He can give you. And if you're hiding the relationship from your spiritual community, avoiding introducing her to people who matter or already know they'd have concerns, and choosing not to find out, that is a sign worth examining. Real love that God authors doesn't need to be protected from the scrutiny of godly people. It holds up under that light. The sixth sign is that you love them as they are, not as you need them to be. One of the most honest questions you can ask yourself about any relationship is this: do I love who this person actually is, or do I love who I believe they could become? Do I see them clearly, their character, their patterns, their values, how they handle pressure, how they treat people when no one is watching, and still choose them with peace? Or am I in love with a version of them that only exists in my imagination, a potential they haven't stepped into yet, and may never? This matters more than almost anything else, because the relationship you're actually in is with the person who exists right now, not the person you're projecting onto them, not the person you're hoping they'll eventually become. And if you can only feel at peace about this relationship when you imagine the future version of them rather than the current reality of them, that is not love. That is wishful thinking wearing love's clothes. Real love, when God shows it to you, is grounded in reality. It sees the actual person, not the idealized projection. It doesn't minimize serious red flags because the good moments are so compelling. It doesn't look past ongoing character issues because the emotional connection is strong. It looks at who this person demonstrably is, proven over time, visible in their actual choices and behaviors, and makes a clear-eyed, honest decision to love that person. That is not settling. That is wisdom. And it is the only foundation strong enough to sustain a real relationship over the long term. 1 Corinthians 13 says that love rejoices in truth, not in wishful thinking, not in what you hope will change, but in truth. When God shows you that love is real, He gives you the grace to see that person honestly and choose them anyway, not despite what you see, but through it. Not because you've overlooked their flaws, but because you've seen them fully and love them genuinely. That kind of love is sustainable. It doesn't collapse the first time reality contradicts your expectations, because it was never built on an illusion. When you love potential instead of presence, you take responsibility for something that was never yours to carry. You pour yourself into closing the gap between who someone is and who you need them to be. And every time they fall short of the potential you've assigned them, you feel personally responsible. You just need to love them better, be more patient, give them more time. But the gap never closes, because you cannot love a person into becoming who they have not chosen to become. Here's what's paramount. If the peace you feel about this relationship is conditional on them changing, if your confidence that this is from God depends on a future version of them that hasn't shown up yet, be honest with yourself about what that means. Real love starts with clear sight. And when you can see someone fully, honestly, without projection, without the filter of who you need them to be, and still choose them with settled peace. That is one of the most powerful confirmations God can give you that what you have is genuine. Real love leaves evidence, evidence that is visible over time, that holds up under honest examination, that doesn't require you to suppress your discernment to maintain it, and that consistently points back to God as its source. When it's real, these signs don't all appear perfectly on day one. They develop, they deepen, they accumulate as the relationship matures and the truth of what you have becomes clearer. But they are present, they are recognizable, and they are consistent with what God's word says real love actually looks like. Subscribe for more biblical truth about love, relationships, and following God's leading.